What's going on, You know what? Nope. Bringing you back. We got a special guest. I know he's been on a couple things to this point, but as you all know, our boy, Cashley Kelly, is out of the joint, and this is our first official show. I don't know why this shirt is so bright and white, so I'm moving my lights around. I'm going to let a few people join, and then we're going to bring Kash to the stage. He's going to be back on Truth Will Set You Free on Tuesday nights. This is part one, which I'll make sure we're putting in all the different areas. We'll break these up into palatable amounts of information, but we're going to talk a little bit about where the hell Cashley Kelly has been the last 3 years. And no, he did not run off with one of his baby mamas. I love that he is backstage right now. Can't defend himself. So let's go ahead and get the show started. Like this video, share this video, do all the things with this video. And yeah, let's go ahead and start the show in 5, 4, 3, 2. Where's the counter? Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, to the stage, Cashley Kelly.
What's going on, everybody? I'm so glad to be here.
All right, I see Casey's mad. He just said, "Yo, no invite." Casey, we'll do a part 2 with Casey. Just throwing it's Kash and Russo to start, and then Truth Will Set You Free. Casey will be there, and part 2. I wasn't being a dick. We were supposed to do this.
That sounds like it sounds like a dick move to me, Casey. It sounds like a dick move to me.
It wasn't a dick move. It's not a dick move. All right, Casey, you're in part 2. This is going to be like 30 to 40 minute little blocks. And when it's time, we'll move on. Casey, you are officially in part 2. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it that way. Because I just want to have a little talk shit moment. Like, I'm doing some things like wearing the Pure Blood shirt because I know you were forced to take the jab in jail. So you're technically no longer a Pure Blood. So
I started transforming in there when they gave me the shot. I was like, I gotta vote.
I do have to ask a question. Kash, how many times after you got the shot did you get COVID?
2. Weird.
Super weird. Anyways, all right. Casey, don't take offense to it. Let's go ahead and get this started. You'll be on part 2. And I also want to make this clear right now. Truth Will Set You Free, Awake Not Woke clothing, any of the things that we've had going on for the 3 years without Kash being there is a group-owned effort between me, Kash, and Casey. Those are the 3 people that run this 100%. And that is who owns whatever comes of this media organization. We have people that are trying to jump on board and be a part of more shows and have their own show on it as well. So if you guys,
you know what that means?
What does that mean?
That means please go and support it. I'd appreciate it, y'all. Awake Not Woke. I appreciate it if you would go and support it.
Yep. And if you guys want to know, this is I'll talk about the Sporting Cash real quick right now, which Casey set up like a champ in like 15 minutes the other day. So
that's because he's the greatest IT tech in the world.
He really is. He is a nerd genius. So I'm putting a couple things up there right now, which is helpcash.com. That will get, so essentially what that is for, and I know a lot of people have given a lot of resources to Kash's family in order for him to get doing the social media stuff that we see here and hopefully creating this media platform and increasing everything with Truth Will Set You Free. That's where to get him on board and get it where when he leaves the halfway house, he will have some funds. I know we've already had about 500 donated, and that will also have the place for people to find all the different stations and networks, which I'm also putting that up. And then I promise we'll get started. We have got so the YouTube channel, if you're watching on Kash's YouTube, and go ahead and stay there, watch it there. But if you do want to give anything to Kash, do it because it's not monetized anymore. You could go over to you can go over to the Truth Will Set You Free BetheChange page, which that link is in the comments if that is where you want to do super chats. And I
greatly appreciate it.
And last but not least, follow his personal page. His personal page is going to be more motivation. We're keeping politics right here on Truth Will Set You Free. And that is it. Those are in the chat as we speak. What's up, Cash?
I just want to give a special shout out to Dawn and Dan Wilkins and Kim Whitaker. I appreciate you guys a lot. And I'm not going to go into the specifics, but they have been instrumental in helping me get readjusted out here. So thank you.
And last, Gina, she messaged me earlier. I said we're probably going live today. She's got a couple extra women's extra large Cash's back shirts, which you can purchase those at awakenotwokestore.com. But if you want those, just message Gina directly. She's on Facebook. That's her name. That's her information. Let's get this show started. Cash.
What's up?
Well, it's been a few years. I don't know how far back you want to go, and I don't know how much you want to tell. Like, I know that there's going to be different times at different places for a lot of stuff, but let's go ahead if you can. Let's just start back with you and I and some friends, including Kelly. It was Kelly and I's first date. We went to January 6th. What's your perspective on that day, that moment, and in retrospect?
Well, before we get into it, let me plug up my phone because I got a low battery right now. So give me a sec.
Cash, this is why.
I'm sorry. I'm not prepared. I'm not used to this. I thought phones stay charged forever now because everything is EV. You know what I'm saying?
No, they don't. They're actually worse than they were before.
1 second, and we're going to get into it. I apologize. My bad. My phone's going to die if I don't. And then you'll be hit, and you'll be doing the show without me. You know?
It's just me. Then it'll feel like the last 3 years. You're like a deadbeat partner,
Oh,
just gone.
That hurts. That hurts. It's not my
Casey,
fault, bro.
This was actually me running late today, to be very clear. This was me running late.
Yeah, it wasn't me. I was ready. I was waiting at 1 o'clock. Anyway,
yeah,
we're not going to get
into
that.
And it is 2:45. I was behind.
Yeah. So anyway, so you want to hear about my feelings about what, January 6th?
Let's start with the date that lives in infamy. You and I, we decided to let's you know what? Let's be straight up about it. When you decided to go to January 6th, we were talking about it for a while, and you couldn't get release from your lawyer to go out there. Let's shoot all of these records straight. Let's start from the beginning and however many parts we have to do about this. But let's start with that day.
All right.
With that week, because that was the week before.
Yeah, well, as everybody knows, I was getting passes to go everywhere. I went to California. I went in Valparaiso. I went to DC before that, got approved. Everything was approved always. So when I got the approval for January 6th to go out there, everything was on the up and up. So I go. And it was said that I didn't check in to be able to go. I did, like they saying I didn't get it cleared, but come on. I got everything else cleared, and this one time I'm not gonna get it cleared.
Well,
so yeah.
Do you remember they did clear you for something?
What was that?
18. It's funny, you don't even remember anymore. They said,
oh yeah. For like 10 hours or something like that. Like, how are you supposed to go somewhere and then come back out of state, thousands of miles, and then just, be back in 10 hours? It didn't even make sense. It made zero sense.
And they cleared you to go to Texas, which
to
is
Dallas,
by me.
Yeah.
So you had given them, I need to go to Dallas. You had given your lawyer that did a lot of things wrong, which we'll get into as well. They gave you 10, or I think it was like 18 hours to go round trip from Indiana to Texas, back to Indiana, but even though you asked for Texas because we were going to meet me and then go to DC, they just gave the time for you to speak, be there, and go back. And that was somehow what they entered. And by the way, I was on this live with Cash, but it was before we got started when he got the phone call in the beginning of January saying he got permission to go, because before that he didn't have permission and he wasn't going to be going.
Yep. That's the truth. That happened.
So we then, and guys, like this video, share this video, please. Please do that for us. Let's go ahead and get our algorithms back in the day when I told Cash things are different. You don't draw 1,000 viewers anymore. I'll never forget the first time I had you on the show. And we had never had more than 50 viewers at a time, which now is a lot. And I just remember you got on and it went 50, 130, 700, 1,300. And I remember my mom was in the other room and I'm like, crazy shit.
Yeah, man.
Anyway.
Hey, we'll get it back. I know you're a doubter. You're a doubter of that, but I'm telling you, mark my words, people are going to break the algorithm. Mark my words.
I'm not a doubter of it, Cash. I just know that the algorithm, like, I mean, we have from when you got out or from when you went in to now that you got out, we have exactly doubled our following, but the actual algorithm just doesn't pump live. And maybe it's because there's so many more viewers or so many more channels to watch. Maybe that's part of it. I think we're going to crush it. I know we're going to crush it, but it's going to be a little bit different, but
If you
whatever.
guys could please right now, please share this video out. Take a second and hit that share button. If you haven't done so already, please do that. I'd appreciate it because I want to prove Russo wrong. We're going to get this all the way back. We're going to
All
get
right.
this all the way back.
Let's go to January 6th. So we think that everything's good. I had an RV at the time, and we met somewhere in Indiana or wherever it was, because originally you were going to fly to Texas. We're going to drive. We met in like South Indiana, and we go out to January 6th.
Yeah, we was out in Indianapolis. Yeah, so that happened and it was fun. Everything was good. We get out there and it's just great. The vibes was great when we ended up actually going to the actual rally. It was fun. You know what I'm saying? Had a good time, like at every Trump event. And then we left early, if you remember. We didn't, because that part where, remember they always playing where they're trying to say Donald Trump told everybody to go down there, which he said, let's peacefully and patriotically go down to the Capitol, make our voices heard, and we're going to be rooting our senators and Congress people on. Some of them I don't think we're going to be rooting on so much because you'll never take this country back with weakness. Talking about them, not talking to us about taking it back through weakness. He was talking about them not having the courage to take it back. But anyway, that's besides the point. We left early before he ever said that. And we were down there. We went down to the Capitol. When we get down to the Capitol, we see a whole bunch of people and everybody's just standing there with signs. And we were singing like God Bless America and chanting USA and all of that. And then a whole bunch of police came out and got on top of the balcony over there and started shooting people with pepper balls, spraying people with mace, throwing flashbangs into the crowd, which they tried to say that they did not throw flashbangs into the crowd. And we killed that by sharing my video. And it was on the
We
news.
were live. We were live when there was flashbangs going off before there was anything really going on.
No, but nothing was going on. And then people started getting agitated and throwing stuff back at the police. So that's when the agitation happened, which, by the way, at the exact same time, on the other side of the building, they're letting people in. They're letting people in, giving them tours. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, yeah. So people got aggravated. I ended up walking away from the crowd right there and doing some other interviews with people that were there and talking. And then I seen people start being let in on that side. I don't know if they were let in at this point or people forced. Can't really say. All I know is that. Go ahead.
So there's stuff you didn't see in the last couple months that came out. So our side. So first off, there were some things that we were past the barriers, but we didn't know that because there was a group of, and I don't think they were the opposite side. I think they were our team that went and removed.
I know for a fact they were.
Exactly, and removed the single barrier. There was one bike rack that was blocking the whole Capitol that was removed by, I don't know if it was Proud Boys or Oath Keepers or whatever was that initial group.
Neither one. It was neither one. It was neither one. It was the people that I think went down there with Ray Epps, my guy Ryan Samsel. And Ray Epps gave him the order because he told him when he started shaking the gate. I seen this in the Discovery. He started shaking the gate and Ray Epps looks over at him. No, wait on my command. Wait on my command. And then you guys haven't seen that video. That's in the Discovery. That's in our Discovery, which you won't be able to see until everybody's sentenced and then they release all of that. So he's telling the dude strict, he looking dead at him, says, wait for my command, wait for my command. So Ryan chills. So then as more people start showing up, he gives the order to move it. Then boom, they move it. And they breached onto Capitol grounds, which we didn't know. We didn't know that at that point. I didn't know that there was no barricade up.
And to be honest, Cash, I found this out recently. If I knew that we were past that first gate, if I knew, I was like,
never even went there.
I would have been arrested. I would be arrested today. They're still arresting people for January 6th last week. But I didn't. Yeah, for me, it was we walked up to the area that was barricaded. Now, to get to your point, you said we don't know what happened in our area. Fun fact, there's video. There was one, I think he was an Asian guy. It was one of the Capitol Police that was overzealous. He was the one peppering the balls into the crowd and all that stuff and the flashbangs. So the reason why those police officers, do you remember when, I think we had already gotten separated at this point, but do you remember how all of a sudden it just cleared out and everybody went up all at once? Like that one moment we had just like, we were together and then we separated because you were talking to some people and that's when you went in and I didn't. And they shot a gas can and it
Mm-hmm.
misfired. And it went where all the police were. And remember, they say there was 130 police officers or whatever it was treated for injuries that day. The
Yeah.
bulk of them were treated because of the gas can that they fired into the crowd that didn't make it to the crowd, which cleared them out and sent them to the infirmary. They're not going to
Yeah.
say that, but that video came out about 6 months ago. That's why we were able to go up to where we were going. That's why
Yeah.
it opened up. It was not the other side apparently had some violent stuff go on. Our side, literally, when they cleared it out, people just went up. But anyways, that's one clip you might not have seen. I know you've seen 10 times more than I have, but
By
go
the
ahead.
way, I did not break anything or steal anything for people that was saying that. I never broke anything. As a matter of fact, I was yelling at people when I went inside to not be breaking. I said, why are you doing this? This is our own house. We don't destroy our own stuff. We ain't BLM. We're not Antifa. That's what I specifically told people. And I also stopped 3 officers from getting attacked by people inside of there because the people were starting to get agitated and wanted to go through the police. And the police officers were standing there and they looking at them and they're like, look, you guys can't go this way. You can go this way, but you can't come this way. So they're starting to get agitated with the police. And I go over there. This is after I took my picture with the statue, which I'm not my proudest moment, but you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I wasn't thinking. But either way it goes. I jumped down and went over there and I told them, hey man, I said, what are y'all doing, bro? I said, well, this ain't what we here for, man. Stop that. So they're like, where I know you from, man? I know you. I said, I'm Cash. He goes, you're Cash Kelly. Oh my God. So a whole bunch of people came around me and started wanting to take pictures. So I took the pictures with the dudes. The police officers thanked me. They said, hey man, thank you. I said, hey, yo, it's no problem, man. You guys wasn't out there doing what they were doing to us. So I appreciate you guys for just doing your job. You know, I hope everything works out. And at that point, I turned and I see a guy swinging at the chandeliers. So I'm like, oh no, it's time for me to get out of here. And then it hit me. I'm like, okay, this is bad. I'm like, this is all the way bad. I got to get the hell out of here. So when I'm leaving, the police are right there, and then SWAT's coming in. I say, look, man, I'm just trying to get out of here. I ain't here for all of this. They said, all right, sir, you can go. So they made me climb out of a window. They didn't let me go through the door because they were barricading the door because people was beating on the door trying to get in. So when I
So
go out the
you went
window,
in a door. You didn't go in a window. You went in a
no,
door.
yes, I walked in a door and I walked out of a window because of
Got it.
police. So the
Got it.
police was like, yeah, you could go. So when I get out there, I look at the people and I'm like, listen, it's all bad in there. You guys should probably not go in. SWAT just came in, is getting out of control. And they were like, really? Did you go in? I'm like, yeah, I made it in. So uh I'm telling people to turn back and they're like, no, we're taking, they had their own opinions. All right.
You can
And I
say
just
it because I think it's truth. There was bad people going, we're taking. So again, I don't, the things that I don't believe that were said was the hang Mike Pence thing. If it was said, it was said by
it
people
was
that were.
said. It was said.
So who is it said by?
I don't want to say it because he's my friend and he's fighting right now. So
Okay.
yeah. So I don't
So
want to
I
say it,
am
but it was
learning.
said.
So for the trolls that typically come in and say people said it, and I said, if anybody said it, it was a one-off or two. I don't believe it per se, and I think that it was a fed. Apparently, I will accept being wrong here. So this is somebody on our side, and in the heat of the moment, that is, what it is.
People got tricked, man. If you recall, the night before, Ray Epps was out there telling people that they need to go in the Capitol tomorrow. We need to go into the Capitol, and he was the one that was encouraging all of this. And the person that said what he said was one of the people that was there while Ray Epps was saying what he was saying the night before. So they're all getting pumped up for the next day, which I didn't know about until I was being locked up and talking with them. But yeah, it was said, and I mean. I I don't know. I don't know. It was just it was a lot of stuff that I found out being locked up, and I'm like, oh. So now I understand why there's such a negative connotation with January 6th because of what some people did, say and would have done had they succeeded. So I gotta keep it real. I don't want to lie.
So say it again one more time for Diane. Diane's comment says, "How do you know it was our side?"
Because this brother is near and dear to my heart, and he's a super, super trumper.
So there was
So.
mistakes, and we've said that there's
And but
mistakes
but I
made.
will say this: I was also locked up with people who were right wing Antifa. So
What is your definition of right wing Antifa?
people who were extremists all throughout the year, showing up to Trump events, doing the stuff where you always see videos of people that were fighting with Antifa or fighting with people who were supposedly Antifa. Those weren't just regular MAGA people. These was people that they did violence because they weren't really Trump people, but they masqueraded as Trump people. You know what I'm saying? So there's videos, if you see the guy hanging from the tunnel on the West Terrace, he starts hanging down, he changes his clothes, he jumps down, and he's holding on to the top right there, and he's kicking at the police officer, he's stomping on people that are there protesting, and he's supposed to be a Trump supporter. Being locked up with them, I'm gonna tell you right now, the dude is not he's something else. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna say his name, but he was not like the rest of us that was there. He was there at every other rally. They got videos of him doing the same thing in other places. That day he went bananas. Like he was trying to get some stuff going. You know what I mean? And yeah, it was a hard time for him when he first got there because we were like, "Yo, you're Antifa, you're Antifa," and he's like, "I'm not Antifa. I'm just a like he was a super extremist, you know." And
Yeah.
we got cool. Don't get me wrong. Like I kind of talked to him, and you know what I do. So I kind of brought him back down to reality. Like you don't see that wasn't cool what you was doing, man. He goes, "You know, bro, I'm just sick of this and the way things are and these Democrats and he's just super divisive. But I toned him down a bit. I toned him down a bit and got him to, see reality a bit. And I call him a, believe it or not, I call him a brother too, because, he was swayed by the political climate at the time, man. He really thought that we were losing the country and that this is what he thought. China was on the border, preparing to invade America, and he was ready to fight. So he was like die hard America, but extreme. He was literally the equivalent of Antifa, but on our side. So, but not on our side because he did the things that we wouldn't do. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but the thing is, when there's whether you want to say 500,000 or a million people there's going to be people that are acting as extremists. Even I want to ask the question about whether it's an insurrection. But at the first off, I made a mistake and I never hit save on the to put it up on Cash's channel. So it is now up live on Cash Kelly the Streetlight on YouTube. I don't know how I didn't do that. So we just had a whole bunch of new viewers. So if you guys are watching now, just go back and watch the beginning right when we're done. We're going to do these parts in short abbreviated versions, but we just added about 100 people. So I'm going to go ahead and put one more time in the private or in the chat. If you would like to actually give a super chat to Cash, it will go straight to him, but you have to do that on the Truth Will Set You Free page, which is owned by Cash and I and Casey. So you can go to that page. Anything that we get on super chats will go to him. And then make sure you're following his Facebook. Well, his Instagram is at the bottom. As you can see it, it says at the Cashley Kelly. It's on his thing. And then not on his thing. That'd be weird, but you should get your handle tattooed on the peen. But here you go. And then so there it is right there. And that's where you can get them on Facebook as well.
Oh,
all right. So I just wanted, I don't, all of a sudden I looked up and I'm like, your YouTube's not on there. So my bad. It is now though. So
hey, I got a question.
Yeah.
Is our viewership up normally than what it would be?
Shut up. Yeah. We knew that was going to happen. We knew that was going to happen.
I was right.
So as our live viewership right now, we have 2 on Twitter. But that doesn't say much. They don't watch a lot of live. On our own personal, on the Truth Will Set You Free YouTube, we're at 45. On the Facebook, 113. And on your YouTube, 108. So that's where we're at.
Oh,
good job. That's why they call you Black Thunder. Speaking of it, all right. So let's talk about. I have a feeling. Oh crap! I'm not charging.
Share this out, please, everybody, right now, if you could. If we just people that just tune in, please share this out so we can get the followers back up, get the viewers going again. I'd appreciate it.
So we just talked about the fact that there was some bad right wingers there. Before I ask the question of if you think it's an insurrection, and everybody know, we're going to try to do these in like 40-minute blocks. So we'll go for about 15 more minutes. So you saw obviously some right wing extremists. You were in the J6 jail with them, obviously. Do you believe, and I remember you and I were in a room and somebody asked us the question, do you think police was light that day? And do you think there was people from the left-wing radical group on site that day?
Without a doubt. 100%. I believe personally that there was infiltrators of different calibers in the crowd that day. I mean, when I was going up the to get to the balcony, I ran up the railing. All right, I ran up the railing, and there was a guy up there, and I swear to you, it was something off about this dude, and I should have picked it up then. Like my spidey senses was tingling in that moment when he gave me the flag. He's like, "Get in there, soldier! Get in there, soldier!" And he looked like, I don't know, military or cop or something. He wasn't normal. And I was like, yeah. So I went. And yeah, that's how I got the flag.
That's one of the most epic pictures of all time, though. Let's be very clear. You at the top waving the flag. It would be a lot better if there wasn't a guy climbing the wall right next to you. I had to crop that out in some of the pictures because it looks really bad in many ways. But let's also be clear. If there is almost 1 million people or 500,000 people and they want to take over a building, they're going to take over a building. And I remember go ahead.
I understand what they mean when they say mob mentality now. At first, yes, and it just took over that day, man, and that's really what happened. You know, it just is. I mean, things happen. Things happen. And
things happen. But
yeah.
So, and I remember a buddy of mine asked the question. He said, "Do you think?" And we got home. When we got home that night, before we go through the rest, we were like, "That was the greatest day." And then we see all the news and we see how bad it's looking. We're like, "That's not what we saw there." It's very weird. And my buddy called and he said, "Was there enough police?" And my original answer was, "We thought that there really was." In retrospect, that was something that I realized there was not enough police.
No, there was not. There was not. But you know what's even more ironic, and it adds to the whole conspiracy side of it, is President Trump told them to bring in the National Guard, and even approved, to bring the National Guard in for that day. And Muriel Bowser, for some odd reason, right before it happened, who was complaining that they wanted it, didn't use them. I mean, I don't know. Just I feel like it was a setup, personally.
So I think we all agree it's a setup. Now the question I have for you is, was it an actual insurrection?
No.
Pretty
it was
simple.
Not. If you look in Black's Law Dictionary, right, the definition for an insurrection, I believe, is one who tries to overthrow a set authority or government. No one was trying to overthrow a government if they were there on the behalf of the person that was running the government. He said we could go peacefully and patriotically make our voices heard, and we went down there to peacefully do that. It was not planned to overthrow a government. It was there to protest, and then it got out of hand because of what people were doing on both sides. You know what I'm saying? You had police that was doing the wrong thing, and you had some civilians that were there doing the wrong thing. So no, it was not an insurrection. It was a peaceful protest turned riot. And I want to say that it was mostly a peaceful protest.
I see a good comment here because this is clearly somebody on the left, which is fine. You guys tried to overturn an election, which is why she believes it's an insurrection. Can you answer that?
Sure. I mean, that's your opinion and you're entitled to it. This is America. I'm not mad at you for feeling that way. I wasn't there to try to overturn no election. I was there to protest because of what I felt about an election. All right. And you're allowed to do that. There's nothing saying that you shouldn't be able to do that.
And I think that this is a great segue into something you and I talked about when we were on the phone the other day. And we have, like, it's weird. You can actually talk about issues with an election now because, of course, they want to make sure that they're planning ahead just in case Trump wins. So YouTube, you're able to allow to say some stuff now. But we talked about the fact that I took a lot of flack for you because you were away. And I remember the same guy that did an interview with you from, I think, local Chicago news or wherever he was from. I think maybe they were Ohio. I can't remember. Heavyset, white-haired guy said that you didn't even vote. Look at these people that were arrested. That's right. He was local. He said 3 local Trump supporters didn't even vote in the election. And that's where I said, wait a second. Did you vote in the election?
Yes, I did. I got it. I got my ballot from my bank and I took it and dropped it off over in Hobart at the place where they took the little ballots.
So this is why one of the reasons why we agreed that there's something that went wrong with this election.
I'm not the only one. That's the thing. Remember, I made a post. I'm like, yo, they're saying that my ballot wasn't even counted. And then this is added to the whole election fraud thing because we're like, how many other people's ballot didn't get counted that did vote. And then a whole bunch of people on the Facebook was like, yo, my ballot, and they're posting it. They're saying that I didn't vote and I was over at so and so and I voted. So this is, okay, let me clear this up too. People say, do I think that the election was stolen? No, I don't. I think it was rigged big time because of things like that. So,
Yeah.
you know,
I always my response to anybody that really wants to argue facts, because again, everything we're saying is anecdotal. I understand that. I can tell you anecdotally, I know people, I know followers that didn't have their vote count. They went and checked. You're the only person that I can clearly vouch for because I know you so well. But on top of
right.
it, take away all of that. Take away all that. What's the one thing that's been proven? The one thing that's been proven is that the laptop story, which would have changed at least a small percentage of the vote, they think it actually would have changed a very big portion.
It would have
The laptop story alone in swing states would have been enough to change the election, and that has been
all day,
admitted as suppressed. That's all you have to say. You can avoid
all
any
day.
of the other stuff.
Yeah,
All
for sure, man. I already feel you. You know, I believe the same thing. It's just people, and we were guilty of this. So I'm gonna speak for me. I was guilty of this too. You know, people believe what they want to believe. You know what I mean? Like I went down some rabbit holes before I got incarcerated. People believe what
they're
they want to
scrambling the
believe.
jets.
You know what I'm saying? People believe what they want to believe, and that's that. And when people feel strongly about something, they will say and do things to protect what they believe in, so you don't shatter their, their belief. Cognitive dissonance. When somebody has a core belief so strong, even when you show proof of something, they can't accept it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what a lot of people are faced with today, and we're faced with then. They were believing something so strong that they're like, "Yo, I don't care what you say. This is what it is." So
Did you get a chance? I know you didn't. You got a chance to see something. Did you get a chance to see the not 2000 dog? Yeah, 2000 doggies, 2000 mules. Did you get to see that?
Okay, my headset just went out. Am I good still?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Um, no,
Okay, it'll be.
but
I
I
mean, it's
watched some because in DC DOC they had these tablets, right? And they had Real America's Voice on there. So I used to I used to sit and watch Real America's Voice. It was religious. Watch War Room. So they talked about it a lot on there.
hold on. Your audio's going in and out. Try to bring. Actually, put the headphones away. I think because they're trying to catch them still. I don't know. Check, check.
Yeah, they are. Okay, I got you. One
You're
second.
very quiet. I think your hand might also be on the microphone.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you sound good now.
All right, cool. All right.
All right.
But yeah, no, we watched Stephen Bannon a lot.
And I think we talked about that when you're in the first spot, when you're in the J6 spot. It's like, let's have them do War Room. Let's get a bunch of people that already feel that they were disenfranchised. Let's throw some fuel onto the fire. That sounds real smart. This is a good question.
Yo, it made us so mad when we were locked up. We were so mad watching it. Like, we know it. We know it.
This is a good question from Diane, and we'll probably end this pretty quick, especially since the audio is not quite as good. So we'll end it, and then we'll make sure we have part 2. Casey will be on it. But this question, Kash, were you charged with insurrection? If not, that's because there was no insurrection.
Nobody has been charged with insurrection. No one.
What's the difference? Because you're very well read. What's the difference between being charged with sedition and insurrection? Because there was some Proud Boys that were charged with sedition. You know, you got the what's his face got 22 years. So
My man Kelly Meggs, man, shout out to Kelly Meggs, who's not a racist. Kenny Meggs is not a racist, all right? And he's not, Oath Keepers is not a white supremacy group, okay? Let's clear that up right now. I love that brother. He's a good guy, man, real good guy, and I'm sad for him. But sedition is like next to treason. It's the closest thing to treason. An insurrection is, like I say, trying to overthrow the government. So yeah, I guess that's how they're different. He was they're trying to make it like he was planning. He made plans to overthrow the government, I guess, is what they were trying to say with sedition, if I'm not mistaken.
I
I'm
think
not
so.
sure. He broke it down to me when we were in there together, but he wasn't guilty.
What's the Cuban guy that got 22 years? He wasn't even there.
Enrique Tarrio. He wasn't with us there. I seen him when we were getting transferred on the bus. We had a long ride together to Oklahoma. And I talked to him. I talked to Joe Biggs and the other guy that was with them. And yeah, I told him I'm gonna pray for him too, man, because that brother, they whacked him. They whacked him, man. They did him. They did him in. And
Bad. It's
he's
insane to not
actually
even be
darker than me.
someplace and get 22 years. It's insane.
Yo, he's darker than me, and they said the man's a white supremacist, and that the Proud Boys are a white supremacy group. Make that make sense.
Make that make sense. Hey, Michelle. So I just put, and we're about to wrap up, but if you want to send a super chat, and we've got a lot of people watching in the Cashley Kelly Streetlights page, which is great. If you want to do a super chat before we sign off on this part 1, go ahead and go to the link that I put on the bottom right there. Go ahead and click on the link. That will put you in the Truth Will Set You Free page, and that page can accept super chats at this moment. We're going to have about a couple minutes left before we get done. While people are still watching, also, we're going to do one more conversation, but helpcash.com, this is what was set up by Casey, helpcash.com. That's another way. Obviously, a heck of a lot less fees are taken there, and that is all going to get Cash the podcast equipment, the setup, so that he can look official, kind of like I do. Also, for him to look like he's got a job when he gets out of the halfway house when we get going. So, since people are watching right now, before we get into the rest of the story, because right now we're talking about that day. We'll get back into that the next time we talk. What are you up to what's your status right now?
Well, right now I'm still in the halfway house. I'm gearing up to be coming home in February. I'm gotten reaffiliated with my babies. That's amazing. I FaceTime them a lot throughout the day. They FaceTime me. My son, Messiah, and Cammy and Nanas, they woke me up this morning, blowing up my phone. Just wanted to see what I was doing. They literally made me get up out the bed so I can show them the hallway outside my door. So right now I'm just here. I got to take a couple classes while I'm here to be able to get some home passes so I can be able to see them. I'm setting up the visitation. I should be able to get visits by next week. And yeah, man, I'm just gearing up. I'm trying to get myself together with the social media stuff, so I can get back to doing what I was doing and be able to provide,
I love it. Susan, the Give, Send, Go, help Cash, because again, Casey is a nerd genius. If you do the help Cash, it goes directly to a Give, Send, Go, not GoFundMe,
Give, Send, Go. That's the place.
Yeah. Give, Send, Go. That's the place to go. So I put that back there on the bottom. Again, that just gets him on his feet. That's what that's for.
I appreciate everybody too that's been doing it so far. Thank you.
So we're almost at the 40-minute mark. We've got we didn't even get fully through that day, so we've got more to talk about, more coming up. I'll make it easy because we know Cash struggled the other day to tell everybody where to go. The Cashley Kelly on Instagram. If you go to just helpcash.com, that Give, Send, Go will list everywhere to follow him. And again, if you want to make sure you're watching any of the political stuff, like, yes, this is on his personal YouTube, but after that, we're going to try to keep the political stuff off his personal page. It'll be on Truth Will Set You Free. That's where we're going to have it. That's where he's got ownership to do whatever the hell he wants. And I'm sure we'll get taken down a couple times, but they can piss off. But you can make sure you follow all of his personal stuff as well, because we're going to be talking more motivation. That's how we're going to end it. Cash, tell everybody kind of what your plan is moving forward with how we're doing all this stuff.
Okay, my plan moving forward, I would like to start speaking out about January 6th, the people that are locked up from it. You might get mad about what I'm going to call them, but political prisoners, because that's what I feel that they are. They're my brothers. I want to help their kids, because no matter if you agree with that day or you don't, their kids are affected, and it's rough. So I want to advocate for them. I also want to keep going with Streetlights Unity Foundation, the Streetlights Unity Movement. I want to get that back going, because there's a lot of work that needs to be done in these communities out here. It's pretty bad. Keep kids away from the gangs, away from drugs and out the streets. Yeah, that's the goals right now. They're gonna evolve drastically through this whole thing. And one more thing that's near and dear to my heart right now is I want to do more on prison reform, because there's a lot of officers that I've experienced being locked up that get away with a lot of things. Out here in the world, the left pushes, I don't even want to say the left, that sounds divisive, but a group of people in politics push hard for the police to be able to wear cams, cameras. So when they have an interaction with somebody, it keeps them accountable and it shows the truth of what happened. They don't do that in prison. There's people that go to prison and they get beat down, like what happened in DC DOC with Ryan Samsel. They get beat down and they're punished on top of getting beat because an officer lied on them, and the officer is corrupt. So I want to push for cameras for the BOP for whenever a police officer inside of there has to have interaction with somebody, they can be held accountable. Not planting stuff in people's cells, not beating people to where they're going blind in their left eye, or threatening to put a nightstick somewhere where it shouldn't go. That kind of brutality shouldn't be happening if somebody's already paying their debts to society and doing everything that they can do to become a better person while they're inside. So, yeah, I'm pushing for federal oversight of the BOP overall.
Love it. All right. So I'm just going to answer a couple questions and we'll get out of here. Locals page. So Locals is the new Patreon's, Cash. And to let everybody know, Truth will set you free. The plan by March or April is to have it as a like a media outlet, very similar to like what's that?
I said, yeah.
Yeah. To have it set up like almost like what Crowder does with Mug Club, or like what Tatum is doing. There's a whole bunch of them, and we hate the fact that we're like saying, all right, you give $4.99 a month here, give $10.99 a month. So we want to make sure it's worth it. We've got Kristen Sokolov, who Cash will meet on a show soon. We've got a couple other people that have shows that they want to bring. Bobby Sauce, I haven't really talked to him about it, but he did hear about it, and I think we could use some of his content. We got to get him back on a show. So there's going to be some content that's worthwhile for you to be a part of, and we'll probably launch it through Locals. That's one of the easiest places to do that. But in the meantime, it's a bunch of free content, and if you like what you see, then make small donations. It's very simple. Yeah. And start that way. Again, people want to find, somebody asked about going through Meta. I don't know if you can donate through Meta. There's subscriptions, but that gets complicated. If you really, really don't want to use Give, Send, Go, or you're confused about any of them, go ahead and just say for Cash on my Venmo, which is at BetheChange USA. Just say for Cash. Super simple. And Cash is with the K. Because if you said for Cash, I'm going to take it. Because CASH, that's for me, baby. I'm just kidding.
I got all my stuff still up too, by the way.
Do you? All your well then shit. Just give it there. Where's that at?
I got to get all the links. I don't know them. I forgot.
For now, just do it at BetheChange USA. Sweet baby. Did you lose your memory in there? What happened? I'm kidding. I don't remember.
Oh man, it's just you're focused on so much other things going on around you. People getting beat up and stabbed, and cops doing things. It's just like you forget about all the stuff out here. You're worried about making it through. So I did forget about a lot.
Awesome. Not awesome that you forgot about stuff, but you know what I mean. All right. Well, that was fun. That was a good start. Part 2 will be coming soon. Be on the lookout. I don't know if it'll probably be after our Tuesday night Truth Will Set You Free show, which we're going to have a little fun, talk politics. Cash is going to have to look at the news again if he wants, which he's going to want to.
Oh, I do. I want to relearn it. I'm just so lost right now. I don't know what's going on. Like Bobby said, everything is crazy. The world's on fire. You know what I'm saying?
How does Don's like the Cash 111? We got no.
Oh, that's my
Stick
Cash
with
app. Yeah, that's my Cash app.
That's your Cash app. Who creates
1988. That's my birthday.
That's your birthday, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. So that's that. I was like, this looks like one of those spam scam. And Cash, if you post a picture onto my Facebook page one more damn time, swear to God.
That's so funny, bro. It's just the ultimate troll. It feels good to be able to do that. I ain't gonna lie. It
looks like my Facebook got taken over by a black guy that's going to be selling crypto to people and being like, just send me your bank information. It's just a black dude flexing in a halfway house. Casey, fun fact, that last night he knew what he was doing. He chose to do it. He did that on purpose.
I did. It's the truth. I did it. And it was hilarious, by the way. And I'm commenting the whole time. I'm watching people comment. So then I'm like, yo, Russo, you got to stop doing this, bro.
So funny. So funny.
It was great. It was great.
Let me see if I can copy this. Somebody's asking for it. Let's see. And then we'll wrap up there. Cash 11111
11/11/1988.
That's the Cash app. There you go. It's BetheChange USA on Venmo. That's it. All right. No more asking for money right now. That was it. That was the end of our first show. I appreciate you guys. That was the first part 1. Casey, you're on part 2. I promise. Uncle Deuce said, Cash, please go visit the Vigil. They miss you out there. They're still doing the Vigil for Ashley Babbitt. And
somebody could give me that number or a number to where I can call them and be on with them, I would do that because I love them. They were out there religiously for us. I'm talking about giving all kind of encouragement. They wrote us. Shout out to AJ and Don, D-O-N, Don. They were writing me a lot. Like they stayed consistently writing me the whole time and sending me pictures and stuff. They were really good and they helped get me through. So yeah.
And I like to call out trolls. So the grift is real. I'm going to have you guys know real fast that in 3 years, there has been no profit made on my end. And Cash has been in gosh damn jail prison for 3 years. But yes, the grift is real. I love people so much.
God bless you, bro.
God bless you, yo. God bless you. You're making me better. All right, and I've got the number. I can get the number for you through a friend of theirs, so I'll make sure to get that. Ladies and gentlemen, go ahead, Cash.
Unite, don't fight. Be a street light, because only you can be the change that you wish to see in the world. And when you get too stressed out, you got to remember to pray, America, because without God, everything falls apart.
Woo!
Down.